the Planet Hank live show, the greatest, and I mean the absolute greatest podcast in the entire state of Vermont. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, and they love it. I love doing this show and every single week to have the absolute best time in the state of Vermont. If you're just tuning in now, make sure you share this bad boy up. Let everybody know that you're in here rocking with Hank. Let me set the mood with some of this very good music that we always play. We got the best music in podcasts every week, and you already know this. Yo, oh boy, look at that. We got Hank Cobia in the building. What up, Hank Cobia? Man, where you been, buddy? Maya Sacho. He goes, we watching the Kai Bugatti drama or no? Oh boy, yeah, we've got some crazy Hank Kai Bugatti drama. He goes, there's a Hank the 6 now, motherfucker. Oh boy. I don't know whether to congratulate you or not. So right now is my favorite part of the show, which it should be everybody else's favorite part. Tag some people. Share it up. I got my iced coffee here. Still haven't been drinking any energy drinks at all. Okay? No energy drinks. No Celsius. Iced coffee. I'm going to do the very best part right now, which is I'm going to share this up into some groups. I'm going to give some shout-outs into those groups. Hashtag Brattleboro News Recap Show. American White Wolf Scanner. Brattleboro Chat. The Planet Hank Locker Room. The greatest group in all of Facebook. Brattleboro, Vermont. Brattleboro Ranting, Panhandling, Degenerates. Mature Members. Scanner News 2.0. Newfane, Vermont. Everything Greenfield, Mass. Cash for Brat, Dummerston, Vermont Community, the Bennington Blotter, Westfield, Mass, Posting for All, Hinsdale, New Hampshire, let's do it. Scanner Gossip, Keen Connections, News and Alert, Keen Ranting, Panhandling, let's do it. Windham County, Vermont, let's go. And I'm going to do the most important part, which is share this bad boy up into my story. Okay, Katie Lynn in there. Julie Decker, shout out. Michelle Morin. She said, I like your haircut, Hank. Oh, boy, take a peek at that. I totally forgot. Woo, got that haircut. Hank Cobia goes, this is a pretty sweet new setup you got. Yes, sir. Kevin Hiscock says, thank Hank. Thank Hank. Lauren Tiller, shout out. Tag some people in there. Let them know that we're getting started with the Planet Hank Live Brattleboro News Recap Show. This is the greatest show we got. As we all have seen, Hank has been taking over the media, taking over the town of Brattleboro, the state of Vermont. There I am, President Hank. Our event, Real Progress, that went off on January 10th was a big success. Everybody enjoyed themselves. February 28th, come to the second event at 7 p.m. February 28th, 7 p.m. at the American Legion. We're going to have several speakers, the best speakers in the town. This is our political group. This is my attempt to bring both sides together. We meet in the center, and we are going to make some big changes in this town. We're going to try to make things better. We're organizing to vote. We're organizing to have the town leadership represent what we all agree are our values and what we want to see happen in this town. And there's been an outcry all over town Hank made the front page of every newspaper in the area. There's more to come. There's more articles everywhere and everything like that. He goes, yo, what's this real progress stuff? That's us taking over. He goes, get your hair cut at Zico's. 100%. Look at this. Look at how good of a job Zico's did. Obviously, I got my hair cut at Zico's. Okay? Big shout out to Zico's for sticking by with the Brattleboro news, with Planet Hank, with real progress. She was at the meeting, and it was dope. The meeting was fire. Okay? So big shout out to her. Look what she did. She fixed her hair up. Okay? The Brattleboro News Recap Show is the very best news recap show. What we do in this show is we play the very best news stories from the week, and I let you guys watch them with me, and then we can all comment. You can ask me questions, and I will tell you the funny parts of the videos, some of the stuff from behind the scenes, and we go on and on like that. So I've got a very important news video coming all the way from downtown Brattleboro, Vermont. Here we go.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com. Tonight's story comes from Main Street in downtown Brattleboro, Vermont, where Brattleboro police located a man they knew to have active conditions of release. Police were conducting a routine patrol through the downtown area when they noticed a man who they had known to have an active curfew not to be out past 8 p.m. Brattleboro police officer Simeon was able to locate the man and follow him to the area of the Stone Church, where they were able to put the man in handcuffs and place him under arrest.
Fuck, dude. I just spoke to the fucking judge, bro. I was wondering about this damn curfew. Every time, come on. I didn't even know what time it was. This fucking curfew shit is stupid. I thought there was no curfew for homeless people. So what is this? This is ridiculous. Every single time. I think you guys just take me to my phone first.
No, grab it. Walk over to them.
Where are you staying from your phone?
Okay.
You're pushing it from your phone. Actually, I'm throwing it away. I'm getting arrested every time. Just because I'm fucking half-cooked.
You got your review to leave from your residence?
No, actually, they made an alteration. I have to be in my tent. But it's at Market 32.
And it's 9:30.
Is it really? I didn't even know the time.
Where's your cruiser? Yeah, but I still search. Your conditions actually say your tent now?
Yeah.
How about this? I mean, if the judge agreed to that, then that's fine with us. But obviously, it's not 8 o'clock. So here we are.
Are you getting in?
I think we're gonna bring Officer Simeon's cruiser around so that you guys can all go together and we can go on with the rest of our night.
Yeah.
Get a bag in the back with stuff. Oh.
Yeah. all your stuff in there. I think the other officer's pulling up these notes. We're gonna hop in that one.
This man, who is listed as homeless, has a curfew not to be outside after 8 p.m., according to his conditions of release. I was able to get a comment from Sergeant Hamilton of the Brattleboro Police Department.
On January 14th, 2025, at approximately 21:20 hours, Officer Simeon was on patrol downtown when he noticed a man who had court-ordered curfew. The man was out past his curfew, and Officer Simeon and other officers were able to locate the man and place him under arrest for contempt of court. The man was transported to the Brattleboro Police Department, detained for a short while, and later released with a citation.
Just because you are arrested does not mean that you're guilty of a crime, and the investigation is ongoing. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com, sponsored by Brattleboro Ford. Okay. So, kind of a controversial moment. Like, we got to understand what's going on here. This is Angel Rosado. He's been on the news several times. That's Aria's boyfriend. Okay, I've got several videos of him getting arrested for various things. And he made the news big time in Vermont earlier in the year because he's on bail for an aggravated assault where he allegedly hurt someone pretty bad, hurt their shoulder, broke their nose and stuff, like beat him up pretty bad. So he's on pretrial waiting to go to trial for that charge, and he keeps getting picked up and arrested for violating his conditions. So some people, you know, like I included it in the video of like, hey, he's homeless. He's listed as homeless. He has nowhere to go. So where is he supposed to have his curfew? He's supposed to be in past 8 p.m. Where is he supposed to go? You know, it's sort of one of those controversial topics. Like, if he's homeless, how does he have a curfew? Where's the curfew? Like, he just has to freeze in place? You just freeze? Just stay where you are. You got to stay in a tent or you got to stay inside. So here's the thing. And then on the video, someone wrote on the video, they were like, well, I mean, you're a criminal. You know, he's like, I thought curfews weren't for homeless. And they're like, no, they're not. They're for criminals. And so it's kind of like, look, if that assault hadn't happened, you know, then it's like it was a very serious crime. And he continually gets arrested. I don't know at what point the curfew was put on or when it wasn't. So it's not exactly so cut and dry with this case. But I told him as well in person, I said, look, you got to go when you go to court. You got to talk to the judge. I know that you've been arrested several times for this specific charge of being out past your curfew. I don't know, you know? So he goes, him looking trim after his B-Day. Oh, boy. Jane Baker, it's Hank's fault. Heather Sergeant Chase, Tyler John Harrison, Jason Turner, shout out. Crystal Corview, hey, man. Lucy Harvey, yeah. Yo, let me get some shares. All y'all need to share this up. Let's pump the viewership up. Let's get some people in here tonight and have some fun. I've got a whole bunch of topics to go over. I'm in the mood. I'm in a mood today because there's been a bunch of different stuff happening. So let me throw some music on. So tomorrow is the last day that I recommend people pulling petitions for RTM. On my list of amounts of people that I wanted to have run from Real Progress who are getting on my cleared list of endorsed candidates to vote for during the March 4th election, I need one more person from District 9 in Brattleboro to step up and pull a petition tomorrow. And we got to work on getting you your 10 signatures over the weekend so you can submit your petition on Monday. I need one more person. So if you're intimidated by it at all, if you don't really know what it is, but you do live in District 9, we need you to step up. We want to have enough people from Real Progress and the Planet Hank Live show, the Brattleboro News, to fill every available seat on our representative meeting, okay? We need you as a rep. So let's go. If you're even considering it at all and you are on District 9, I need you to step up. Brenda Thompson, what's up? What's up? Hank Covia said a homeless curfew. District 9, one more person. If you're in here and you have any interest at all, let me know. Let's pull a petition. We'll talk about it. So another thing that's going on in the Planet Hank Live world is that we are actively looking for new sponsors, more people with businesses, more people to step up and get involved with the Brattleboro News and the Planet Hank Live show. He says, John Merrick says, keep up the great work, Hank. Kelsey says, did you get a haircut? Yes, I did. Look at that bad boy right there. Woo, we cut that off. I had like 10-inch long braids when they were done. They were like that long, and I donated them. So y'all out here talking about compassion and empathy. Remember, Hank donated his braids. That's right. So we are actively making sales. We are looking for new sponsors. And I'll tell you like this. Some people say, hey, isn't this stuff kind of controversial? And I'll tell you straight up, you want your business listed with this news source. We have way more views than anywhere else that you can list your businesses in this area. Our content is something that people might want to go back and watch a couple times. Some of these fights with police officers that we have, people may go back and watch it 10, 15 times. There'll be huge public discussions. And your brand will be up front during every single one of those views, during all of those discussions. And the other thing is that a lot of people believe in what we're doing over here. We are shining a light into darkness. We are showing raw footage from our towns and what's going on specifically. That's very important, okay? That's very important. And the sponsors that I have who support me now believe in that. They believe in real progress. I'm inciting people to get involved and to help us make change in this community. We are having a drug epidemic. We are having a housing crisis. We are having all kinds of problems. And what we need is to be able to sort through those problems and come up with solutions based on data, based on information and real-time reports of what exactly is happening, how the police are responding to problems, what the problems actually are, and what it actually looks like. We got all kinds of organizations and entities that claim to be the very best, and they are the experts. And I've never seen them out, let alone at the 500 police interactions that I have been present for, plus over that many. Okay, I go to tons of them. I see how it plays out. I see the nuances of how laws work out in real time in the streets. I see how drugs affect people. I see how drug laws actually play out and how EMS and police and fire actually get played during this based off of one piece of legislator versus another, how the citations play out, how charges do, when people get charged, when people get released for violation of conditions, why are they getting conditions of release, what's going on with the revolving door. I'm there, I watch it, I have done the work, and that is why I feel confident enough to speak about what's going on in our streets. Okay, and that is why people who sponsor the Brattleboro News and Real Progress believe in me and believe in what I am doing. The allegations of haters saying, oh, well, this is somehow targeting homeless or targeting somebody in some nefarious way or whatever, it couldn't be further from the truth. If you want to close down how information is gathered, you want to censor stuff that you don't want to be shown because of one political belief or another, that's censorship. That is ridiculous, and we're not going to do that, and real people in America don't believe in censorship. Let's take a peek at what's going on, okay? And then we can have a discussion of how to fix it, okay? One of my solutions is that we're going to consolidate a vote and vote out some of the people and be able to vote on the issues during town warnings on a ballot that actually will make a difference and represent what my group and what the people in Brattleboro, by large, the large majority of people have expressed through hundreds and hundreds of conversations with select board members, with myself, with police, what their ideals are and what we want to see happen in the town. And there is a large population of people trying to shut that down and getting mad because they feel like they are losing. They want to control how the help is being doled out. And I think that it's further from the truth. He goes, Lauren Tiller writes, who would have thought that a video of someone who stole your bike would lead you to this, Hank? True. Wrong bike, bro. You stole the wrong bike. Lauren Tiller also writes, it's seriously amazing to see how much Planet Hank has evolved in such a short amount of time. It's a constant evolution. I am constantly striving to get better at my craft, to understand and listen to people better, to represent the town better, to display my content better, to make my content better, my audio better, my cameras better. I'm always buying gear. I'm always critiquing myself and listening to myself. I've changed my voice several times. People have gotten mad and complained. I hear it all the time. I've noticed that so many people complain about me, but by and far, the large majority of people say thank you. They enjoy my stuff. They watch my stuff, and they are appreciative of the work that I am doing. Does that mean that it's perfect? No, it does not. I don't think that at all. I'm very critical of myself, okay? And lately, it has been getting me down. I have been feeling stressed out and upset about all the crap that I hear people talking about me and characterizing me in a negative way, because it's further from the truth. That's so ridiculous. If you knew me in person, you would understand that I am nice to people. I treat people well. I don't have bad intentions. That's not me at all. I always have a smile on my face. I'm always looking for fun. If I can help somebody, I will. So it's ridiculous the way that people are characterizing my work and everything that I have done. And frankly, I'm sick of it. And you guys should be sick of it too. Here's what I suggest. When you see them online and you see them in these groups, specifically the Brattleboro, Vermont Facebook group, don't even engage with it. Don't engage with them. Don't type big, long comments and get into these debates, treating them like they are somehow educated or deserve to have your intellectual contributions. They do not. You guys are smart. You've made the correct choice. You support real progress. You see the light. You see the content that I make and what is happening with crime and drugs and chaos in your community. And then you see my group, Real Progress, and you understand that this is an actual way that you see the light on that something could get done, and we could make some changes, and we could get some leadership in town who will support your ideals. Don't let them second guess that. Don't let them decide and tell you what they think about how you are making your decisions. Don't do that. Don't even give them the time of day. Show up February 28th, 7 p.m. at the American Legion. Let's make some changes. Let's get organized for that March 4th vote, Because I'll tell you, the reason that they have been attacking and they've been so vocal to try to trash me out is because they are scared shitless. They are absolutely terrified that we are actually organizing, and they can't monopolize compassion. They can't go ahead and control all the facets of local government. The game is over for them. They know that if the silent majority, the people in the middle who can team up, who have otherwise been lazy and not voted, including myself, I have not voted, okay? And I'm going to now, and I'm going to mobilize a ton of people. And guess what? We are going to win. We are going to win in a massive way, and that angers these people. They are mad. So I want to go ahead. Let me throw up another song. And I really want to go ahead and give a shout out to my sponsors. Like I was saying, joining up with Brattleboro News, Planet Hank, Real Progress. These businesses have supported us. They have helped me build this into what it is now. We are making changes. Brattleboro Ford, up off the rotary on Putney Road. Huge shout out to Brattleboro Ford and everything that they have done for me. My flagship sponsor from the start. Shout out to King's, a huge shout out to King's Electric. These are Real Progress attendees, members, my friends. They have a great group of guys. This is a huge electrical contractor in our area. They love Brattleboro. Everybody should be supporting these people who support Brattleboro News and step up. Zico's Haircuts. Huge shout out to Megan. Real Progress attendee and member. A longtime supporter. I've known her forever. She cut my hair. She did such a good job. I look so handsome. Vermont Roadworks. Huge shout out to Fred Cheney, always supporting Planet Hank. Always supporting the Brattleboro News. Absolutely love it. Home Security Service. The owner of Home Security Service, Tim, he is a volunteer fireman. He is awesome. He supports the crap out of Brattleboro News. He keeps people safe with his business. You can see his truck driving around. It's very important that people secure their properties and their loved ones. Get a security system from them. Home Security Service. Brattleboro Towing and Recovery, the best towing company in the area. These guys are awesome. They're in the business of helping people out. They pull people cars and property out of situations after a major traumatic event. Maybe you slide off the road. Maybe you get in a car accident. They are there for you, and they are there for Brattleboro News. I love these guys. Kresge's Alignment. Mike is awesome. He has a shop right on Canal Street, and he is fed up with people going to his lot, with crime that he's seen in his hometown. This kid is a super talented mechanic. I love Kresge's. And Rods up in Putney, okay, 24-hour gas station towing company in Putney. They are huge supporters of Real Progress, Brattleboro News, Planet Hank, everything I do. They love the change that they're seeing. They want to be part of it. And again, Real Progress. This is what we're going to do. This is the banner we fly. This is how we are going to consolidate in the middle, get a unified vote, take over that ballot, and get everything that we want voted in so that we can see some change in our community that actually makes a difference and pushes us in the right direction for once, because people are so fed up with listening to these people act like nobody else except them has compassion and empathy and that they somehow control it. And if you don't agree with every single thing that they say, then they attack you. They act vicious in the Brattleboro, Vermont group. They have been attacking me for months. They are out of their minds. They are closed-minded, and they are bullying large groups of people in our community, and we got to get it to stop. The only way that you can have any power in this world is if you all team up, you all get off the couch, you stop being lazy, and you make something happen. Let me read some comments. She said, legit, before Hank started this movement, I didn't even know where to start and to try to change things. I was calling the courts and seeing how to go about things and ended up going in circles. It was infuriating. So 100% I'm getting behind Hank. He knows what he's doing. I'm more than happy to stand behind him. And it's ridiculous the amount of shit that he goes through. The people targeting him are assholes. Thank you very much for that comment. It means a lot. Heather Sergeant Chase. He goes, the people against you don't want change. They want to help the problems be covered up, period. I said what I said. Susan Hubble says, let's fucking go. Real progress for the W. Worry about the people that sit at your dinner table. Think of you. You rock. Lauren Tiller writes, you are also getting people involved in their local government and politics that otherwise might not have or wouldn't know where to start and how to get involved. And that alone is commendable. Thank you very much. This is a great comment. She says, you have and are doing a phenomenal job pulling people together to better our town. If they are coming after you, then you're on the right track. Keep it going. Hashtag Brattleboro, Susan Hubble. Hank for mayor. He goes, all y'all are racist. Oh, boy. Said, y'all are trying to destroy my character. Oh, boy. Kai Bugatti's been having a meltdown publicly in all the groups. Let's talk about it. So, Kai, I seen some screenshots, okay? I've seen some people commenting. I don't know what it was about or what caused it, but, man, I know some of the details of what you're going through, and I would not suggest it. I would literally delete that stuff, bro. That's all I'm saying. He says, Kai Fregati. He said, these junkies don't want change. Shauna Little says, hey, Hank. Hashtag Team Hank. Tyler Harrison's laughing. The Planet Hank live show taking over. We got a star party. Activate a star party. Kai, send me some of that. Send me some of them big stacks of cash you're flapping around as some stars. Maybe that'll put you on the right track. So we posted an article the other day. Let me go ahead and share it. I'm going to show you guys what's been going on as far as the planethank.com website, Brattleboro News articles. What is compassion and empathy? Okay, compassion, the definition is sympathetic consciousness. Let me throw it up right here so you guys can read along with me. What is compassion and empathy? Compassion is the sympathetic consciousness of others' distress together with a desire to alleviate it. Okay? This article's up for everybody to take a peek at. I'm going to read a little bit of it. There have been a lot of allegations being thrown around lately amongst the people of Brattleboro, accusing those who are frustrated with the lack of accountability in regards to crimes and those committing them. Many people seem to think this call for accountability is a lack of compassion and empathy, despite the fact that not all crimes are committed by those who are without a home, mentally ill, or suffering with substance addiction. When people speak out about the rising crime rates, they are often seen as cruel and wanting to criminalize homelessness, mental illness, and those struggling with addiction. And I think it's BS. I think that it's largely BS. The rest of the article is listed at planethank.com. I challenge y'all to go read it, engage with it. It's very, very, very true that people are basically weaponizing empathy and compassion, and they're doing it to wring out those terms for political gain. They think that they own the institution of homelessness for them to award themselves the title of compassion, which I think is troublesome. Compassion is not a word that you award yourself. That would be a word that somebody else should describe you with. When you speak of Mother Teresa all throughout history, you could use the word compassion because of her actions. You would never see Mother Teresa walking around telling other people that she's more compassionate than they are, and they're bad people for not being compassionate like she is, because she's better than them because of how compassionate she is. It's flawed logic, and we see a lot of that type of thing in these people's brains in this town. People are weaponizing the term. They are monetizing the term and politically activating it for their gain. It's crazy. They don't see it like that, but it's what's happening, okay? They think that them helping unhoused people is something that is going to lead them to political power. They want to control that, and they want to be able to claim the word compassion as a way of their path to winning something. Oh boy, so we have a situation popping off in the comments here. Yeah, the drama. He says no one cares about the drama. He says, thanks, Marine, for taking one for the team of Brattleboro. Got you. He said, Alex Jones Jr. He says, hey, man, I'm asking respectively if you need a video editor to edit your streamer podcast and turn it into content that can be posted on your social media. Thanks. No hate. P.S. I can send all my sample work if you want. You can send me a message on Twitch. Only Zeus 13 tuning in all the way from Twitch. Okay, just so you know, we're streaming on YouTube ×2, Facebook, Twitch. Kai Bugatti says, I'm sick of y'all putting all these false narratives. I don't sell drugs. Laura Tiller writes, it's virtue signaling and moral policing. It's wild that they have to scream how wholesome they are to make others feel lesser than them. Yeah, it's like this. It's this weird twist that we have in this town. That, like, we've got this culture of, like, what we want to do. Like, one half of the town or more, the large majority of the town wants to increase the police. We're having a budget debate. A large majority of the town is worried about safety, wants to increase the police, and have a police department that represents what the police data project showed to be the statistics and what the recommendations are for what we should have for police. The other team, they think that they want to defund the police. They want to take those funds for themselves and go to nonprofits and have social workers fill the gap. Okay, they want, so at this last week's select board meeting, we had several activists stand up, and one of them referenced the police data project. And she said that, okay, so the police arrest 36% of all the calls that they get. So in turn, she muddles and blurs this portion of her rhetoric. She says, so that must mean that all the people except 36% are calling, and those calls should not be going to the police at all, that they should have some other option, that the police never get into call that needed to be called, that they were calling the wrong place, the police, because they have nowhere else to call. And she's part of the Each Other or the CSOT Solace Center that they wanted to create and were denied. And the logic is flawed because of this. Okay, so say someone calls the police and the police dispatch and they respond to the call and they go out and they show up. They assess what the situation is. Okay, so say there's a situation without having the police. So say all but those 36% of arrests, they were going to have a call. Who determines whether the people at that call are dangerous, are criminals, are mentally having a mental illness and need help? Who goes and determines and checks out the scene for safety? In Brattleboro, when there's an overdose or some other medical emergency situation, the operating procedure is that a police officer first goes to the scene and they assess. They make sure that that scene is safe, and that then they call in the EMS, who will be standing by very close. So the ambulances, in a lot of medical emergencies and in a lot of situations, go and they stage right by where the scene is, and they wait for an officer to go and assess what's going on and say, hey, it's safe, send EMS up, and then the paramedics, firemen, whoever's responding, they show up once the police officer. So my question to these people is, without that officer going in and talking to that person first and determining if they are going to kill you, if they're going to just cry, if they're going to commit suicide, if they're going to hurt someone else, if they're overdosing, if they need an ambulance, who assesses that? Because sending a social worker in there just because, like, it makes no sense. That process doesn't work. It sounds good for their own narrative to act like somehow people would sort themselves out and say, oh, I'm not going to call the police. I'm going to call weird social workers to come solve this problem. They're not going to do that. Maybe in some small percentage of cases, people would call the social workers instead of calling the police. That's not realistic. Okay, just because that there wasn't an arrest made during a police call doesn't mean that they should have, like, that somehow that's like a negative that the police didn't do it or didn't need to be called. They absolutely do. The reason that people call the police is a whole spectrum of reasons. They needed protection. They felt unsafe. Okay, just because a crime wasn't committed and that nobody got arrested, okay, or a crime was committed and the investigation or the perpetrator or A, B, C, D, a million circumstances weren't met, that doesn't mean that an officer didn't need to respond to one of the citizens of our town who called the police. So their little solution, it has fundamental flaws in it. That's a huge kink in their hose, and I'm not buying it. Let me read some comments. And by the way, one thing about our podcast, which you won't see on many, many shows, is that I read comments. I engage with the audience on the Planet Hank live show, Brattleboro News Recap, and I read comments so that the people who are tuning in, you know, can talk and can write a message, and I will read it out. So it's one of those things. Home Security Service, big shout out to Tim. He says, make Brattleboro great again. Absolutely love Home Security Service, in the business of peace of mind since 1969. Thank you for your service as a fireman. Everybody appreciates the firemen. He goes, what up, Hank? How goes it? Shout out to Alex. Kai Bugatti goes, it's sickening how racist this city is. Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. He goes, when I was a drug dealer, y'all loved me. Now you hate me. Stop it. He goes, do you have an Instagram? Yes, I do. It's at Planet Hank Official on Instagram. Kevin Hiscock goes, if the shoe fits you, wear it. Here's Maureen Spicer. She says, long comment. Let me read it out. Most of the time, it's so others feel better about themselves. For who is more compassionate and empathetic? It makes them feel better about themselves, draws attention for their wrongdoing. Good job just ignoring the hater, everybody. She said, that was a painful select board meeting. Yes, this last week's select board meeting was insane. She said the struggle is real. It was like 4 hours long. Yeah, she says, for real, sitting in that room was honestly making me so pissed about some of their comments was complete crap. I was legit about to start a rant. Only thing that stopped me was my public speaking fear. She says, for real, I'm trying not to stat back. She said, such a joke. What will these social workers do if the suspect gets violent? Are they going to defend themselves with a hug? So here's a story, and this is how it plays out in real time. So Groundworks was having a overdose at their facility, and shout out to Home Security Service and everything. So just know that I'm thinking of you right now. So they were having an overdose. Okay, so some of the workers there have figured out that they could call directly to Central. They could avoid calling 911 or calling police dispatch and basically in an attempt to avoid having police show up. So for whatever reason, outside of operating procedures, the paramedics showed up to Groundworks with no officers present. So they Narcan this man who was overdosing in their facility, and when he woke up, he got completely aggressive, belligerent, angry, and started like aggressively approaching paramedics and firemen who were on scene trying to help him. Sometimes when Narcan hits, these people wake up and they immediately feel dope sick. They feel bewildered and they feel anger. Immediately they feel anger. I don't think that getting Narcan feels good. Okay. So immediately the firemen jump on to their radios and call they call for backup from the police. They call using a term that means basically like, hey, there's a situation, we need backup now. And so the officers hear the call and are like, whoa, what the heck? We didn't even know that they were there. What's going on? And the fact that the way they called it meant that there was like an active situation going on that is a big deal. And so the officers fly across town and rush over there and basically have to defend firemen who were put in this situation. Okay? And this is basically that playing out in real time. They're trying to handle situations with EMS and their social workers on scene without police there, and it blows up in their face, okay? They cannot know that somebody using drugs that puts them unconscious and need to be Narcan, that will wake up and not be violent. What are they going to do against a situation when someone wakes up who has been Narcan and gets physically violent with them? They are not prepared for that. Firemen did not sign up to fight people. That is what cops do, are signed up to physically defend people and to confront people who are being violent. Firemen don't do that. She said exactly. They're going to defend themselves with their compassion, and he goes, and what social worker wants to do that? If it takes a wrong turn, then they want police for backup. Come on. These people are whacked. I agree. It is ridiculous. It makes no sense. She said, Terry says, Kai Bugatti, enough. Kai, join into the conversation that we're having, buddy. Okay? You're welcome. We want to hear from you. We like having people in. This is us joining together group. Join into our conversation. Stop venting about some third-party argument that you've had. We heard you. Trust me. You posted it all over all of our groups. We already read it. Morgan Emily Grover goes, Narcan is completely harmless if you give it to anyone who isn't high. They get mad because you stole their high. Here's the thing, though. It's definitely toxic. It's not good to go into your body, okay? Yeah, and they get mad that you stole their high and they feel dope sick. I get that, but the idea, okay, so some of these people were standing up and trying to speak about an issue saying that, oh, well, an injection site is healthcare. That was one of the arguments that they were floating. They made these little posters and sent an email around trying to bolster up this argument with a bunch of citations that made no sense. And they spread a bunch of misinformation at the meeting about the topic of injection sites and that, you know, we're shamefully biased and totally closed-minded to anybody who wouldn't agree with them and said injection sites are healthcare. And I'm going to have to go ahead and push back on that, okay? Injecting fentanyl and Narcan is the exact opposite of what the words health and care actually mean. That's ridiculous. It's not health care. It's the opposite. It's death, not care. That's what it is. It's literally killing people. Watching someone shoot up and kill themselves and then Narcanning them and having them wake up furious, exploding, and contributing to their substance abuse addiction and everything else and putting two massively toxic substances in their bloodstream is absolutely ridiculous. It should not be done. We should be focusing our efforts on finding a way to get 120-day inpatient rehab programs and sober living in this state. All of the money and all of the thought and all of the time that we're spending on coming up with these crazy radical half measures, injection sites, different facilities here, having a nonprofit just to like charge your phones and get some snackies and feel safe spaces, pop-up centers, pop drops, like free handouts, food drives, all of that. We need to get real about what we're facing in a drug epidemic. Okay, we need to come up with some actual ideas of how we're going to. They go, oh well, it's an insurance issue. They only cover 14-day programs. Well, 14-day programs don't cut it. We need to be having 120-day programs. We need to be having some sober living options for people to get out of jail or get out of a inpatient program and having a way to learn how to live their lives, having jobs, going home, getting away from people who do drugs all the time, all of that. That's the way that every other state fixes this issue. By just giving them a place to legally inject drugs, and they said, oh, well, you shouldn't call it an injection site because it's not just injection drugs that they're going to be able to do there. They also get to smoke crack in there. So they were trying to say we shouldn't include the terms injection site because they also smoke crack in there. And that's why it should be called an overdose prevention site, which is also troubling language. It doesn't make any sense. It's not an overdose prevention site. It's an actual overdose site. That is where you go to overdose on dangerous toxic drugs, whether it's fentanyl, xylazine, crack, whatever. Like you just go in there and overdose on whatever, and they'll Narcan you. It's ridiculous. It's a terrible idea. Here's the other thing. There are not very many of them. They were incorrectly stating that there were some of these sites, the only ones in North America were in Canada and Vancouver and in Europe and stuff, and we don't have any information. That's not true. They have two of the sites in New York City, in Harlem, and another one in another town, city. And they have been complete disasters in every way. It's absolutely nonsense and misinformation for them to try to nitpick and control where the argument goes because they do not want to accept that the idea is flawed and that when it was played out in American culture, it crashed and burned and destroyed Harlem. Go look up the Harlem Coalition if you don't believe me. So, again, let's all go to the Real Progress meeting. And here you go. I'm going to read some comments. That gives me goosebumps every single time I listen to it. That song kicks. That whole video, everything about it, I love it. I love seeing people mobilize, people getting involved. I love getting people who have never voted before going, you know what? I've had it. I've had it. I'm going to do something. That's what real progress is about getting people who have never voted and have never gotten involved because of whatever reason. It's too boring. It's too complicated. The people are haters. They don't want to be canceled or singled out and screamed at by people on far radical groups online and everything. Like some of the stuff we saw Morgan Emery Grover have to go through. All she did was post she's running for RTM, and the Brattleboro, Vermont group had their vicious attack dogs go in, trash her whole family, her life's work out, everything she did, said she's an awful person. It's ridiculous. And what they did, specifically in her case, was secured her being an elected candidate for RTM. We are going to show up for Morgan and for Real Progress candidates, and we are going to win. We are going to take over this town and take it back because we are sick of the bullies and the haters and the vicious, fanged opposition attacking anybody who doesn't agree with what they think. That is not what this country is all about. We have freedom of speech here. You are allowed to say your opinion without being attacked downtown by loudmouth bullies who call everybody Nazis, simultaneously hating on Jewish people, okay? They try to mask their hate of Jewish people and the nastiness that they have to spew by saying that, oh, well, we're supporting Gaza. Okay, well, Gaza's not hearing or seeing you, okay? And when you say you hate Israel and you say you hate Jewish stars and everything and want to burn their flags and write nasty comments and throw rocks through our people in Brattleboro, that's not who's seeing you. Nobody in Gaza sees you. Nobody in Israel sees you, okay? You know who sees you? When you're protesting Israel and saying nasty stuff outside the post office during your cheap little protest is elderly Jewish people trying to access the post office to pick up their mail or what have you. They are intimidated. They have reached out to Hank, the person that you absolutely think is the worst thing, and you're all writing these terribly written and unthoughtful articles and crying in the comments and reformer and so mad about Real Progress. Okay, now you need to write an article about how you are intimidating a Jewish population in Brattleboro so that you can go downtown and do this little march. They got this guy, Isaac, who's running for select board, okay, lost. Okay, they did this march of just nonsense. They just have a hodgepodge of whatever items they want to protest about. It's just like several different, like, protest ideas, all different topics. Nobody knows why. They just decided to do it. And it's just like these people trying to latch on to something that they can be upset about because that's how they think that they're going to mobilize. It has nothing to do. Half of the stuff doesn't even represent what's going on in Vermont. Okay? Like, dude, You're marching downtown about Gaza, and that's what you're running on for select board. What does that have to do with Vermont? Has nothing to do with Vermont. It's totally ridiculous, okay? And you're making people feel uncomfortable. And you're yelling about women's rights and LGBT rights and abortion and Black Lives Matter and all this stuff all together just for the sake of running down there so he could try to politicize people's anger in of those topics and virtue signal and claim they're compassionate. Oh, well, we're running because we're the compassionate ones. No, you're not. You people are the same people bullying everybody in that group, acting crazy. We're done with it. She goes, even if it was considered health care, we would be able to vote about another hospital coming to our town. Exactly. All of a sudden, they don't want to be, they don't want democracy. They don't want anybody to be able to vote on the issue, whether we should have a say in having an injection site or not. It makes no sense. From the same crowd of people crying about the ordinance that they didn't get a choice because select board, okay, so now all of a sudden, they want to shut down people's opinion of being able to have the injection site in town or not because they know that they will lose in the town vote. Here's the thing about these people, because they are, people go, oh, they're so organized. They're not that organized. There's also not that many of them. They are radical extremists. The people who is the large majority are the normal people in the middle who are coherent and intelligent and have good jobs and great families and all of that. There are people who can make rational decisions and have great ideals, and that has nothing to do with your social status, whether you're homeless, whether you're a millionaire. It has nothing to do with that, and they would love to act like what we're trying to do is villainize some population of people. That's not the truth at all. I've invited everybody to come and be a part of Real Progress and put us in power for us, okay? For everybody. That's what it is. It's anti-divisiveness, and they want to be divisive about it, and they're not seeing that they've got it backwards, and it was designed that way, and it caught them, and they fell for it. Kimberly Lang says, exactly, you said it. He goes, that basically teaches the children it's okay to do drugs as long as it's in a safe space. Exactly. What about the damage that our drug culture has, okay? We have a massive drug culture. What do you think it says to children who are seeing this play out? You know, that are seeing drugs. Like, okay, well, there's a lot of situations that have very extreme moments, needles in the park or whatever. But what about just kids that already kind of just pick up that, like, man, my mom is in the bathroom for like too long, passed out on the toilet, like, and that, like, they're hungry. And like that their mom has put them in front of cartoons and the house is dirty and mom's sick in the bathroom and they don't know what to do. They can't use a phone. They can't talk to anybody. Mom is sick and then she's grouchy. And that's what we're having people live their lives and coming up and growing up as a child. That's their childhood. What about compassion for that? Because that shit pisses me off. How about that? He goes, there is a year-long program in Johnston, Vermont, Teen and Adult Challenge. One in New Hampshire and Mass, too. It works. The 2-week rehab does nothing but make the next time cause an OD. 100%. You go get cleaned up for 2 weeks, and now your tolerance gets washed out, and then you go right back on the needle and shoot up and freaking overdose and die. That also is an effect that happens with people who are getting out of jail. People go to jail, you know, whatever, they might be able to score a little bit of dope in jail and whatever, but their tolerance goes way down. There's a million stories of people like getting out and then immediately shooting up or thinking they're going to celebrate and firing up with a huge shot and then overdosing and dying because their system isn't ready for that. He goes, John Merrick writes, removing the substance is just the beginning. It takes 6 months to stabilize and not be sick. Ongoing support around trauma needs to happen. A safe shooting site only enables and perpetuates the problem. Exactly right. You need to be able to go to a long in-house inpatient program. 90 days, 120 days, whatever, something that literally forces you to be super clean and get the crap out of your system, and then have a program where you know, an outpatient program and maintain for 6 months to a year afterwards, sober living, being shown that life is so much better when you have a job, a place to go, friends and family that aren't doing drugs. Like, I quit just smoking marijuana 13 months ago, almost 14 months ago, and I love it. I couldn't even imagine doing drugs or anything. It's out of my life. I used to not spend a day without being like, oh, I got to smoke. I got to get high, blah, blah, blah. Now I don't even have time for that. I'm so busy. All kinds of other accomplishments have flourished in my life, you know, and if somebody else wants some help talking about marijuana and how to get away from it, reach out to me. Okay. I will help you. He goes, together, we will make real progress. Aaron Smith, huge shout out. Another real progresser. John Merrick, shout out. Maureen, she's at the meeting. Leah Loomis, big shout out to you. She goes, history repeating itself all over again. He goes, we are all lucky to have Hank. This man is trying to help our town, and we definitely need it. Okay, and this goes into when I ask people, please help me get some sponsorships. Help me get some people to advertise with this program, with the Brattleboro News. I need help right now getting these things started. It takes a lot of money. I've been spending the money that I have to finance, to get equipment, to put on events, to pay people, to produce and publish, to make sure that all of this is done well, to research. I need people who are willing to also help. I'm trying to help everybody, okay? It doesn't help when these people are trashing me out in the newspapers every day, okay? So let me go ahead and throw up another article to show you what I'm talking about. This article was produced by somebody at the Commons Brattleboro, the Commons of Brattleboro, local newspaper. And let me throw it up on the screen so everybody can follow along with me. Okay. And it says this: do voters voting as a group support democracy? And he calls out Brattleboro in an episode of the Planet Hank live show that streamed live on January 16th last week. There is a section that says, I would like to point out, starting around the 33-minute mark, here is the text, courtesy of the YouTube-generated transcript. Okay, and so they're saying that I said, to see the town go in a better direction, to get on our representative town meeting and become a rep so that you have a voice and we can consolidate what we're trying to do down there. It's very easy. RTM, you do not have to stand up and speak. You do not have to do anything at all. All you do is you either stand up for yes or sit down for no. You vote in that way, and when you're there with the whole group of us, if you are unsure, you can look to the people in the Real Progress group and stand up with us or sit down and just do what all of your other group members are doing. You know, it's very powerful and very important for us to mobilize in this way. Okay, so they're basically trying the argument that, oh, is that democracy of us, like, voting as a block? And, like, did Hank do some terrible deed by saying this? It's totally ridiculous. What I was saying, this is just them noticing that we are super organized and that they're scared because they know we're going to win. We are definitely going to win. We are going to mop the floor with them, okay? And that is because all of you guys who are now getting involved are in power, and they hate it. They've mobilized to try to misrepresent what I'm talking about, misrepresent all my work, misrepresent all of you and everybody that was at that meeting, and say that, oh, you guys, they in the Commons article they wrote last week, oh, well, we're the angry people, and we're getting fired up because we're hateful and all of this, and that they did a march for compassion, again, awarding themselves the title of compassion, which, no, that's not how that word works. They are being divisive, and it's ridiculous. Yes, I said that you can look to people. If you are unsure of how to vote, you can. The word is can, not must. You can look to other Real Progress members and know whether or not, like, the people who are in a group that you're in share ideals, and you could look to them and stand or sit accordingly. If you're unsure, you can do that. I don't know. You know, I don't see where they think that that's a problem, especially from a group of people who are literally writing emails to each other and every single RTM member and standing up and discussing said emails, saying that they are urging people to vote in how they want them to, and then claiming that everybody else other than themselves are divisive. That is what former town manager Peter Elwell and the director of Groundworks wrote in an email and sent to everybody at RTM. And then they turn around and try to implement this craziness on my podcast. It makes no sense. He goes, we need real progress. She said, exactly. Vermont needs more programs and supports in place for people to find and maintain sobriety. Crystal Corview with a heart. She goes, I would listen to that story. Shoot me a DM sometime. She said, I think maybe putting dirty needle drops boxes in random spots in town and pay someone who is trained to empty them. Oh, we have drop boxes. It's crazy because our drop boxes in town now have to be made out of steel, because what happens is users will go and smash open the plastic ones that we had and steal all the needles. They steal all the dirty needles. Hank says, smoke a cigarette and have a beer. No. He said, I'm the real Hank. Yes, crazy, but clean. He said, write your biography, man. I'll read it. You need help writing it, send me a DM. She said, you need a writer? Reach out, Hank. She said, who isn't a little crazy? Seriously, shoot me a DM sometime. I'll listen. John Merrick said, if I endured one more call to HCRS suicide hotline and Sarah had taken my call, I would be dead today. That's the real truth. She said, funny how encouraging people who haven't voted to get involved is somehow not democratic. That article was a vast misrepresentation. Oh yeah, they're scared. They're scared shitless. Okay, and now they've resorted to just writing whatever they want and not admitting that they're completely biased in every way. He said, great show tonight. Love you, homeboy. Okay, let's pop this up. We're gonna do the news, Brattleboro News. 7-day forecast, the Brattleboro News. Thursday, clear tonight, 27 degrees. Friday, 28, partly cloudy. Saturday, 26 degrees. Sunday, partly cloudy, 34. Monday, 35, partly cloudy. Tuesday, cloudy, 36. Wednesday, 23 degrees. At least it's warmer than it's been, because we were down under zero, and it was miserable. We had that snowstorm, so no snow in the forecast, at least getting up in the 20s. Brattleboro News weather report popping in. And so I got a nice little video. Let's pop this up. We'll all discuss it. It comes from Western Ave, where Brattleboro police stopped a vehicle. After speaking with the driver, the officer sensed the presence of marijuana and got the driver out of the vehicle to screen him for impairment.
The investigating officer noticed signs of impairment in the driver and smelled marijuana in the car.
The driver showed minor signs of impairment, but the officer was satisfied he was not driving under the influence.
The operator was gotten out of the vehicle and screened, and it was eventually determined that the operator was not impaired.
The operator and the passengers were under the legal age of 21, so the officer seized around 2 grams of marijuana from them.
A small amount of marijuana was seized from the vehicle because the occupants were under the legal age to possess it.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News at PlanetHank.com, sponsored by Brattleboro Ford. So, we had some kids from Massachusetts rolled up. They got pulled over for speeding, and the car stunk like weed. And so everybody watched it. It's been a very popular reel. Everybody's talking about it. And I made it because I knew that all the potheads were going to come out and be like, listen, that's BS. How come you can't have weed? You can go off to war for your country, but you can't smoke. You can't have a beer. On and on. Oh, well, and then marijuana is not probable cause for a search. I'll tell you like this. The kids were very well-mannered, okay? They were very respectful. That kid got out of the car. He did what he had to do. He was not rude to the officers. They offered the officers the marijuana. He said, yep, we've got marijuana in the car. He said, I smoked it hours ago, whatever. I'm not high. I'm not impaired. I accept to do the test to prove that I'm not impaired and that I'm safe to drive. He passed his tests. He did what he had to do. He handled business. The facts of the case were the kids gave the cop the weed right off the bat. When he asked him, you got some weed? They said, yep, here it is. And it just so happens that in this state, you have to be 21 to have it. But the officer appreciated what went on and how cordial they were and how well-mannered they were and respectful to the officers. So we did seize the marijuana, but he basically told them, hey, go park your car for about an hour so that you don't get pulled over again or that something doesn't happen, whatever. He goes, Michelle Morin writes, the kids behaved better than all the adults in your videos. Facts. Those kids were great. Okay. Oh, they were smoking a little weed. Is that the worst thing in the world? No. Vermont, marijuana is legal, but you got to be 21. Whatever. And you can't drive stoned. That's another thing that people don't understand. And I do know certain officers that will push that point more than others. But if you are driving under the influence of marijuana, you can get a DUI drugs. It can happen. You will get pulled out. You will get put through sobriety tests. And the one that catches people who are high is to follow the finger. That one tells on you. Yeah, you might be able to walk a line or whatever, but you're going to get busted with the eyes. Okay, they're going to see that. He goes, she said, imagine that. Once again, people behave and they get respect. Who would have thought? Exactly. She said, maybe manners and respect are making a comeback. Wouldn't that be nice? And I'll tell you like this. My son is very respectful and has great manners. That younger generation is showing us up. Us millennials, we are out of our minds. We are the most disrespectful generation in the history of the world. Okay? We need that shit to be reeled back in. Okay? And this new young generation, they're showing us up in that category for sure. Okay. Moving on.
Vermont hasn't really felt like Vermont lately, has it? There have been changes. The priority and tradition of protecting children from drugs and crime has shifted. Our most vulnerable and easily influenced group is being exposed to the underworld of narcotics. More and more children in Vermont are being traumatized by the actions of adults. Vermont has the second highest cocaine usage rate in the country at 2.99%. We cannot risk our children's futures in the name of activism and virtue politics. We need to hold criminals and drug abusers accountable and change our laws to protect our youngest population. We need to organize. We need real progress.
We definitely need real progress, okay? February 28th, join me at the Legion. There will be a huge crowd of us, of all of us coming together. I don't care what your politics are. All I care about is that you want to be part of the group. You want to be part of the voice, that you want to get some real changes, some real progress in the direction that our town is going and want to be part of the solution. You don't want to tear it down. You don't want to try to destroy it because you might believe one thing a little different than someone else, that you are willing to get along with someone for the greater good. That is the concept. For me, myself as well. For me to learn how to work with people that I don't necessarily agree with politically and that may not believe in the way that I do things or say things and stuff like that. I am making an effort to help out around the town, and I want others to help me. I wish that certain groups of people wouldn't be so hateful and wouldn't try to attack me for that. That would be great. Thanks. Okay? That would be real nice. Okay? So, again, we got ourselves the Brattleboro Live Show, Brattleboro News Recap Show, the Planet Hank Live Show, the greatest podcast in the history of the town, and everybody knows that. So I'm going to play us a very important news video that I had the pleasure of making for some people that I respect very much. Let me go ahead and throw that up now. Let's see this. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I see. Okay. Let me go ahead and throw that video up and get you guys this next video. I love doing this video because these people work so hard to do this for us, for the town, and you know how it goes. It's been so cold out over the last couple days. Freezing, below zero. The story's coming out of North Brattleboro, and it's an amazing one to me.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com. Tonight's story comes from Putney Road in North Brattleboro, where, as many of you already know, a pipe burst under the road, causing flooding. With temperatures dropping below zero, the process of digging up the pipe and repairing the break was grueling. Brattleboro Public Works spent all day to repair the burst pipe and finally began the backfilling process and cleanup after 12 midnight. I was able to get a comment from one of the workers.
This morning about 7:30, we had a water main break on Putney Road. 10-inch AC line, had about a whole 1-foot chunk blow out of it. We had water off to certain parts of Putney Road with it fully restored about 8-9 o'clock tonight. The break was probably caused by the freezing temperatures and the ground thawing and freezing, so we expect this to happen during this time of year, and we're always ready and prepared to get right on it and get it back on water running. So
I want to send a thank you to our Public Works employees for working in sub-zero temperatures to get this repaired quickly. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com, sponsored by Brattleboro Ford.
So I really enjoyed making that video for the Public Works, Brattleboro Public Works. Those guys, they at the select board, our town manager, John Potter, stuck up for them and all the municipal town employees and not cutting their pay and making sure that they were budgeted into the budget and that people were thinking about what they go through. And this video popped right up. I was driving by from a call at the Quality Inn, and I saw them out there past midnight, freezing, -6 on my dash, and they're down in the hole, digging and working, and it was so cold out. And I was like, you know what? I gotta just make this video real quick. I gotta hop out of the car and give these guys credit. I know that the story had already broke on the Brattleboro Reformer. Everybody already knew about it. But what they didn't know about is what they were going through for the town. Again, when the town manager stuck up for them, that was awesome. Okay, when I'm trying to show them, that's huge props. Shout out to all the workers in the town and everybody trying to help out, because that was above and beyond to work past midnight to get people's water back on at -6, -7 degrees out. The whole road was covered in water. Workers were soaked. I can only imagine. I was out there for about 15 minutes and I was frozen. Okay, and I was wearing a sweatshirt and a ski parka, and all my cold weather gear was on, and these guys have been out there for hours working in that. Said, absolutely, thank you, Public Works. They do more for this town than people understand. Huge shout out to Brattleboro Public Works. Thank you for what you do. They are all huge supporters of Real Progress, huge supporters of the Brattleboro News, because they know me from seeing me out on the street, seeing what I'm doing, and they are also out there, and they know the truth about what the town's going through and how they feel that it should be fixed. Okay, so before anybody wants to trash me or say what I'm doing or however the Real Progress group is characterized, just remember that for every hateful message, there are 50 to 100 of us who are filing in and teaming up in the center, nothing to do with politics, everything to do with the town and how to make real solutions, real progress for our own community so that our kids don't have to go through this crap anymore. And with that, I'm going to end the rant. So what I'm going to do now is show off these delicious, absolutely fabulous dog treats in the shape of a Planet Hank logo. Look at those bad boys. They're flavored peanut butter pumpkin. Okay, they've got fresh oats on the top. I sell these for $10 a bag. They are homemade. They are absolutely delicious. Look how cute that product is right there. There's 10 cookies in there. That's $1 a piece. And believe me when I tell you this, Your dog is going to absolutely love you much more than they did before you bought them special dog treats from Planet Hank. Marco's Munchies, here they are. This is Marco's big week. I finally saved up enough money to fix that boy's ACL injury, and he's going to have surgery. So I need all of you to put all of his dog emojis. 3 dog emojis. I need at least 3 people to put 3 dog emojis, just like Kevin did right here. Put the dog emojis up. There he is. I better see lots of dog emojis for this big boy on his week. Send him some stars. Tell him you love him. Here he is, Brattleboro's favorite, Marco. And these are Marco's Munchies, the most delicious. Yes, everybody sees you, buddy. Everybody sees you. Go ahead. You can take it. You can take it. A good boy. Ah, good boy. What a good boy. Yes, there they all go. Thank you very much to everybody putting the stars up. Kevin, Michelle Morgan, Rebecca Sorensen, Katie Lynn, Tyler Harrison, John Merrick, Crystal Corview, Jen Benaware, John Merrick with 1 million. Susan Hubble says, Polo. She goes, Hank, if you make a different flavor, my kiddo is disappointed and she can't give our punk treats due to her allergy. Oh, Lauren Tiller, Maureen Spicer. Did Marco get a treat? Yes, he did. Look at those sweet eyes. Marco, would you like one more? They would like to listen to you, Marco. One more treat. Yes, here he comes fast. Here he comes fast. There you go. What a good boy. That's my boy right there. Brattleboro News Recap Show. Real progress. February 28th, 7 p.m. at the Brattleboro Legion, 32 Linden Street. The greatest event. We're going to have 6 new speakers. I've got some great ideas for speakers. You guys are going to love this. We are consolidating our vote. We're getting it done. We got some, and I have a great Brattleboro News video coming out. You guys are going to love this new video. I've already edited it. It's ready to pop onto the screen. It'll be ready first thing tomorrow morning. I'm always out with my camera. I'm always out with my scanner. Shout out to Jeff Bush, Cherokee Diversified, for helping me grab this beautiful scanner. Very great piece of gear that allows me to pull up on the very best news stories, police situations, medical emergencies, town instances, whatever, and go ahead and capture that content and share it with you guys. I absolutely love doing this show. I absolutely am asking people for help getting people to advertise, to make this possible. I have been dealing with some stuff, and I really, really could use the help of getting some new sponsors, getting some added income coming in for this to make it possible so that I can continue to grow this, that I can continue to make more content, more articles, and continue in the upward trajectory for the town. This is getting a lot of attention. I promise you that when your business supports the Brattleboro News, you're going to be seen more, you're going to get more views, you're going to get more attention for your business and your branding than you have in any other resource available in this community. So be a part of the group, join up with us. It's much appreciated, and all the viewers appreciate it because they believe in what we're doing here. So when these haters come for me, remember, you don't always have to defend it if they're in that one crazy group. Stay away from that. Defend me everywhere else. Consolidate. Planet Hank locker room. Planet Hank main page. Make sure you engage, you know? If you watch a news video, throw some comments under there. Like it. Share it. All of that helps endorse what we're doing and make it stronger. And it sends a message. They hate seeing the views on these videos. They hate seeing the engagement. They can't stand it. They want us. They are looking at us with hate in their eyes. They hate that everybody likes it. Barbara Gant says, thank you for all that you're doing. Just keep doing it. Morgan Emily Grover sent some stars. Huge shout out. I can't wait to vote for Morgan. I can't wait to do it. Morgan Scott, he goes, what happened if I get in trouble but have learned my lesson and changed? Could you be a part of 100%? Morgan Scott, you listen. I have zero. Okay, so Morgan Scott, here's a big shout out to this guy. Okay? Big shout out to you, buddy. Okay? I want you to be involved. I personally want you to be involved. There's something special when somebody does something wrong, owns it, takes responsibility for it, accepts their punishment, and then changes to make themselves better. Okay? That is something that we all can respect. We definitely want you involved in Real Progress. I want you at the next event to come up to me, shake my hand, bring your family, your children. Dude, plenty of people reached out about you on to me on your behalf and said that you're a great guy, okay? That you're going through some stuff. I'm always there to help lift you up. I would never, because you got in trouble. He has a Planet Hank Live video. Okay, he was in the news. You are accepted by us. Anybody who thinks that they're not welcome, the only reasons that I will not welcome you to one of my events or into one of my groups is that I see you treating people from Real Progress or treating me with vicious, nasty bullying comments, censorship, and just gross behavior, targeting my speakers, targeting my events, targeting my supporters and my Real Progress members. You act like that towards us, then of course we don't want you involved. We don't want you involved. We don't need you. We're going to build this up with or without you. Someone like you, Morgan, much love, bro. Show up, come to me, shake my hand, own it. We'll put that behind. We'll never talk about that again. Don't worry, man. He goes, Radha, the kids, and I will be at the next one. More than welcome to sit with us, man. No hate here. 100%. 100%. Real Progress. February. Oh, I can't put that there. You know what I mean? So, Real Progress, February 28th, 7 p.m. Let's get it done. I can't wait to see you guys all there. And remember, okay, when they're mad, we are happy. Planet Hank Live Show, the very best podcast in the state of Vermont. We're taking over. I can't wait for next week's show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Later.